He never fired a bullet, yet he might have saved more lives than any soldier in the war. This is the unbelievable true story of Juan Pujol García, the man who tricked the Nazis, became a spy for both sides, and helped make D-Day possible, all without them ever realizing they'd been played. His story is a masterclass in deception, a high-stakes game of smoke and mirrors where the fate of the world hung on the words of one man. Stay with us as we unravel the tale of the spy who fooled Hitler himself. Juan Pujol was, by all accounts, an ordinary man. He wasn't a soldier, a hardened operative, or a political mastermind. He was a Spanish chicken farmer and a failed businessman. But what he lacked in conventional skills, he more than made up for in conviction. He despised tyranny with every fiber of his being, and as he watched Hitler's shadow spread across Europe, Pujol knew he had to do something. He decided he would fight the Nazis, but on his own terms. His first move was to offer his services to the British, but they weren't interested. They rejected him not once, not twice, but 3 times. An ordinary person would have given up, but Pujol was far from ordinary. He came up with a brilliantly counterintuitive plan. If the Allies wouldn't have him, he would go to the enemy first. He would become a German spy, build a reputation, and then use that trust to feed them lies that would help the Allies win the war. He created a new identity for himself, Agent Garbo, a fanatically pro-Nazi Spaniard living in London, ready to serve the Third Reich. There was just one small problem. Pujol wasn't in London. He had never even been to the UK. In reality, he was operating from a hotel room in Lisbon, Portugal, armed with nothing more than a tourist guide to Britain, a map, and his own boundless imagination. From that small hotel room, Pujol began to construct an alternate reality. He invented an entire fictitious network of spies, giving them names, backstories, and personalities. He had a Dutch airline steward, a Swiss banker, a Welsh nationalist, even a disgruntled officer in the British Army. All of them were figments of his imagination, yet to the Germans, they were a highly effective intelligence ring, all reporting back to their trusted man in London, Agent Garbo. How did he make it so believable? He used a clever mix of information gleaned from public sources. He read British newspapers, listened to radio broadcasts, and studied train schedules. He'd report on troop movements that were publicly announced or describe military hardware he'd only seen in newsreels. He combined these real but useless details with pure fiction, creating reports that felt authentic and important. His big break came when he fabricated a report about a large convoy of ships preparing to leave Liverpool for Malta. The Germans bought it completely. They launched a massive air and sea search to intercept a convoy that never existed. The British, monitoring German communications, were baffled. They couldn't figure out how the Germans were getting such detailed, yet wildly inaccurate information. Eventually, their codebreakers traced the source back to this mysterious Agent Garbo. They realized they weren't dealing with a German spy ring, but a single, brilliant con artist. Instead of arresting him, MI5 did something far smarter. They found him and recruited him. In 1942, Juan Pujol was secretly brought to London. The British gave him a new code name, Agent Garbo, because he was the greatest actor in the world. Now, with the full backing of MI5, Garbo's operation went into overdrive. His fictional spy network grew to 27 agents, each with their own dedicated MI5 case officer writing their reports to maintain their unique voice. The British provided him with just enough real, low-level intelligence to sell the much bigger lies. And the biggest lie of all was just around the corner. It was called Operation Fortitude, the single most critical deception campaign of the entire war. The goal was to convince the Germans that the D-Day landings, the massive Allied invasion of Europe, would happen at the Pas de Calais, the narrowest point of the English Channel, and not at Normandy. Garbo was the linchpin of this entire plan. Through his network, he sent a constant stream of reports detailing the buildup of a phantom army, the first U.S. Army group, supposedly massing in southeast England, directly opposite Calais. The deception was so elaborate it included inflatable tanks, fake radio traffic, and dummy landing craft. The Germans swallowed it whole, convinced that Calais was the true target. On the morning of June 6, 1944, as Allied troops stormed the beaches of Normandy, Garbo sent an urgent message to his German handlers. He warned them about the invasion, but he deliberately had it sent too late to be of any use. This masterstroke made the Germans trust him even more. They believed the Normandy landings were just a diversion, a feint to draw their forces away from the real attack they were still expecting at Calais. Because the Germans believed Garbo, they kept 2 entire panzer divisions and nearly 20 infantry divisions waiting in the Calais region for weeks after D-Day. They were waiting for an invasion that would never come. This phantom army, created by Garbo's lies, prevented German reinforcements from reaching Normandy at the most critical time, saving the lives of countless Allied soldiers and ensuring the beachhead could be secured. Garbo's deception was arguably the greatest trick ever pulled in military history. After the war, Pujol achieved something no one else ever has. He was awarded the Iron Cross by Germany for his supposed services to the Reich, and at the same time, he was made a member of the Order of the British Empire, or MBE, by King George VI for his actual service to the Allies. Both sides thought he was their hero. Neither knew the full truth. But Pujol wasn't interested in medals or fame. He was a man who had fought a war to find peace, and now he just wanted to disappear. In 1949, with the help of MI5, he faked his own death from malaria in Africa. The world believed that the brilliant spy Garbo was gone. In reality, he moved to Venezuela, opened a small bookstore, and lived a quiet, anonymous life for the next 30 years. His incredible story remained a secret until the 1980s, when a British writer obsessed with the D-Day deceptions tracked him down. Juan Pujol García proved that courage doesn't always come from a gun. Sometimes the most powerful weapon is the human mind. He demonstrated that truth can be a weapon, but in the right hands, lies can save the world. He was a chicken farmer who outsmarted an entire empire, a man who turned deception into an art form and war into a battle of wits. He was Agent Garbo, the spy who fooled the Nazis and helped win the war, not with a bang, but with a whisper. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as incredible as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more hidden histories.